Hi, my name is William Wood, and I wanted to take just a minute today to give a brief overview of what hypnosis is, to talk about what it's not, and to answer three of the most common questions that I get in my office today. Now, there's no way in just a couple of minutes that I can actually answer all of your questions, but this will give us a starting point to have a conversation about the nature of hypnosis and the nature of what to expect here in my office. First off, let's talk about hypnosis and what it is. Hypnosis is a state of increased suggestibility. What that means is that when the mind is in hypnosis, it's more open to the ideas that are presented to it. Now, this is a real benefit if you're looking to change something in your life. Perhaps you're trying to stop smoking, but it seems like half of you wants to quit and the other half is sabotaging you a little bit. In the state of hypnosis, we can actually give suggestions directly to the subconscious mind, which then can allow the subconscious mind to cooperate with you in terms of your goals of stopping smoking. Or let's say that you want to stop eating so much chocolate. In hypnosis, we can increase the level of your receptivity to suggestion, and we can literally have the subconscious mind begin to cooperate with you in your goal to eat less chocolate. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do either of those things, and that's what the goals that you should have when you come into my office. It's just an example of two things that are relatively common that I do work with. So again, hypnosis is a state of increased suggestibility. It's a state where we become more receptive to suggestions that are present. Some examples of naturally occurring hypnosis, because hypnosis is also a naturally occurring state, something that happens to all of us on a regular basis as we go throughout our day. For example, I don't know if you've ever been on a vacation. Now, some people like to go to the beach, other people like to go to the mountains, other people just like to go to a beautiful hotel room overlooking a gorgeous view. But have you ever been in a place where you were able to just relax totally and completely and you just let go and your mind began to drift and you started to feel really good? For me, there's a little cabin in the woods in Alaska where I grew up. And when I think about going there, I remember the sound of the wind as it moves through the trees. And I remember the sound of the little bubbling brook next to that cabin. And I also remember the feeling of the wind, the feeling of the sunshine as it gently warms my skin. And then I start to remember that feeling that I get right here, that feeling of letting go. And if you've ever felt anything like that at the beach, in the mountains, some special place, or maybe just in your room at night as you pull the covers up, that is the feeling of hypnosis. And it's a really common experience. Now, you may have also experienced this, perhaps not to that same level of physical relaxation, but to the level of relaxing your mind when you're driving. You're on your way to work, you're on the freeway, and your mind begins to wander, and before long, all of a sudden, you realize that you've driven the last couple of miles, perhaps without remembering what you were doing, or maybe even you drove past your exit or ended up somewhere where you didn't intend at all. In fact, I remember as a kid, my dad driving me to work instead of to school because he was on autopilot and he did the work thing and went into the driving trance and just ended up at work. And then the third would be sitting through a presentation or a class maybe where not necessarily that it was boring, but your mind started to wander a little bit. Maybe your attention wasn't completely focused in on the instructor and your mind started to wander and spin, and before long you were deeply steeped in a daydream. If you've had any of those three things happen to you, you've been in a naturally occurring state of hypnosis. Almost all of the population has been in and out of this naturally occurring type of trance, whether it's when they're watching a movie, or they're reading a book, or they're taking a vacation, or they're driving a car. The fact that you already do hypnosis on your own is a good sign. It's a sign that you can learn to do hypnosis on purpose. In fact, my personal belief is that all hypnosis is a form of self-hypnosis. And my job as a hypnosis coach, essentially, is to help you learn how to access all of the abilities, all of the skills of your mind so that you can increase your own receptivity to your own suggestions and help yourself stop smoking, lose weight, clear a fear, reduce stress, or whatever it is that your issue is for coming into my office and making progress. Hypnosis is a wonderful tool to unlock all of the resources of the human mind. Now, again, I want to talk a little bit about what hypnosis is not. Again, I believe that all forms of hypnosis are simply a form of self-hypnosis. And that means that hypnosis can't be certain things. Hypnosis is not mind control. There is no state, whether awake or asleep, that is a state of mind where a person is out of control or where a person doesn't have the freedom to choose. What that means is in my office, as you enter into that self-hypnotic state, I'm going to help you, giving you the suggestions that you've given me for you in hypnosis. We're going to feed back the benefits and the reasons why you've come into my office. Let's say that you were wanting to lose weight. You might tell me, Will, I want to be healthy, I want to look better, and I want to be there for my kids and my grandkids. And so when we go into hypnosis, I would show you how to enter into the self-hypnotic state. And then I would simply feed back the suggestions that you had told me that you wanted during your hypnosis session. And that's a way for you to be totally in control. If at any time, whether awake or in hypnosis, whether asleep or in any other state, if someone were to give you a suggestion that went against the grain of who you are and what you believe, you would simply reject the suggestion. And there's no power above or below. There's no power in hypnosis or out that can force you to do anything that you don't want to do, or can force you to believe anything that you don't want to believe. My job is simply to help facilitate the hypnotic experience and help you access that state where you can make the powerful personal changes that you're looking to make in your life. So hypnosis is not mind control. There is no state that bypasses agency or that bypasses the freedom to choose. You will always have choice. And certainly in my office, I respect you, your beliefs, and the directions that you set for the session are the directions that I take, because I am simply helping you access the state of self-hypnosis. So hypnosis is not mind control. It is also not sleep. Many people have expected as they come in my office to go into a pseudo zombie-like state, and they expect that when they are hypnotized that they remember absolutely nothing, and that somehow either I've taken over their mind or they've gone into a deep sleep. Now, part of this just comes from inaccuracies that are mainly expressed in Hollywood, but in other popular entertainment forms, perhaps even in stage hypnosis shows, where a stage hypnotist may, in fact, be misleading the audience a little bit about what's actually going on. Now, that's not true with all stage hypnotists, but it certainly is with some. So hypnosis is not a state of sleep. That means, what does hypnosis feel like? That's the question that most people ask me. Hypnosis may not feel very different than anything that you experience on a regular basis. Hypnosis feels pretty normal because we do it all the time. We do it when we read books, we do it when we watch movies, we do it when we drive cars, we do it when we daydream in classes. So hypnosis in and of itself is a feeling that feels very normal and natural, and you will not feel like you're asleep at all. In fact, it will feel, for most people, not all, but for most people, they will feel a sense of relaxation as they close their eyes. And that's about what hypnosis feels like. My job as an expert in hypnosis is to observe the outside picture of what's going on and ensure that we have a nice hypnotic state based on external signs. Also, to help you learn to go into a trance. And the reality is that all trance is about learning how to go into hypnosis.